Welcome to the Ultimate Class Showdown Season 2. The characters are now level 2 and will be running it back to determine the ultimate level 2 duelist. We look at our bracket after the seeds were randomly drawn. In round 1, we have the Warlock taking on the Wizard, the Druid taking on the Paladin, the Ranger taking on the Cleric, and the Barbarian taking on the Monk. In round 2, the Sorcerer, Bard, Rogue, and Fighter all had a bye. We'll jump straight into the action. We jump straight into our first battle as the Warlock takes on the Wizard. We start by rolling initiative. The Warlock gets an 18, the Wizard gets a 13. We'll start with the Warlock. It's going to go ahead and cast a Witch Bolt against the Wizard. That will be a 21 to hit. It will hit, and it is going to deal a massive 15 damage to the Wizard, and that is a dead Wizard. We move on to our second battle as the Druid takes on the Paladin. We start with initiative. The Druid gets a 19. The Paladin gets a 12. We'll start with the Druid. It's going to go ahead and use a Witch Bolt attack against the Paladin. That will be a 11 to hit. It will not hit. The Druid is then going to go ahead and shapeshift into a giant crab for the 2 temp HP and the 15 armor class improvement. We now move over to the Paladin. The Paladin is going to close in on the Druid, and it is going to attempt a longsword attack. That is a 19 to hit. It will hit, and it is going to deal 8 damage to the Druid. But on top of that, it's going to use its bonus action to cast Divine Smite using a trait, so it doesn't use a spell slot. And it is 13 damage. That will be a total of 21 damage to the Druid. And that is a dead Druid. We now move on to the Ranger versus the Cleric. We start with initiative. The Cleric gets a 5, the Ranger gets a 12. We'll start with the Ranger. It's going to go ahead and cast Hunter's Mark on the Cleric. It is then going to attempt a longbow attack. That is a natural 20 to hit. It will deal critical damage. It's going to deal 12 damage plus the additional damage from Hunter's Mark for a total of 17 damage to the Cleric. And that is a dead Cleric. We now move on to the Barbarian versus the Monk. We start by rolling initiative. The Barbarian gets a 17. The Monk gets a 20. We start with the Monk. The Monk is going to go ahead and close the gap to the Barbarian. It is then going to do a on-arm strike against the Barbarian. That is an 18 to hit. It will hit, and it is going to deal 6 damage to the Barbarian. We are not done there, however, as the Monk is going to use Flurry of Blows to do an additional 2 on-arm strikes. The first is a 14 to hit. It does hit, and it is going to deal 5 damage to the Barbarian. The second Flurry of Blows is going to be a 9 to hit, which does not hit. We move over to the Barbarian. The Barbarian is now going to rage, and it is going to attempt a Great Axe attack against the Monk. That is a 17 to hit. It will hit, and it is going to deal 11 plus 2 for 13 damage to the Monk. We move back to the Monk. Once again, going to be trying an on-arm strike. That is a natural 20 to hit. It will hit, dealing critical damage for 8 damage, half to 4 damage against the Barbarian. The Monk is going to use its final action point for another Flurry of Blows. The first is an 18 to hit. It will hit, and it is going to deal 7 damage, half to 3 against the Barbarian. We move on to its second Flurry of Blows. This time, it is a 9 to hit. It does not hit. We move back to the Barbarian, once again swinging its Great Axe, but it gets a natural 1 to hit. It does not hit. We move back to the Monk, once again using an on-arm strike. It is a 17 to hit. It will hit, and it is going to deal 5 damage, half to 2 damage to the Barbarian. It is then going to do a bonus action on-arm strike. It is a 13 to hit. It will hit, and it is going to be able to deal 6 damage, half to 3 damage against the Barbarian, and that is a dead Barbarian. We now take a look at the updated bracket as round 2 is now shaped. The Sorcerer will take on the Warlock, the Bard will take on the Paladin, the Rogue will take on the Ranger, the Fighter will take on the Monk. Then in losers round 1, we have the Wizard, the Druid, the Cleric, and the Barbarian. That will be all for the action today. Be sure to subscribe and tune back in for episode 2 as we continue this journey to find the ultimate level 2 duelist.